Hello, people. Today we're doing a set I'm calling Hearts and Bows. It's the last Valentine set. You know it's coming in late, but the best I could do. We're going to start off with this Beetles glittery, kind of sheer glittery color, inky color. Well, this is one of those sets that I had a different idea in mind for that did not work out, so I had to take a hard pivot in the middle of this. So, it isn't exactly the set I set out to do, but is what it is. Okay, first coat, going in with the second coat on all of them now. What did I say? In case you're wondering why I don't have my gloves on, I only had a half hour and I didn't want to waste a set of gloves for just that little bit of time. So just for what I was going to be doing with this part, I figured I could manage it without slopping it all over myself. Okay, those are going to cure. Now we got some mylar bits. We've got some of these hot pink and light pink solid hearts, glitters, and we're going to start off with base coat. This is basically the same thing I just did like 2 sets ago. We're going to put base coat on these three, and then we're going to add our mylar and the little glitter hearts on there. So I just use this old kind of squiddy looking brush to pick my little bits of stuff up when I'm doing this. Just put them on there. Now the Mylars, sometimes they lay down nicely, but more often than not, they're bent in a weird way. So there's almost always some parts of the Mylar sticking up at the end. Those can get filed through and get filed off. No problem. It's not going to change what anything looks like. What you do need to be careful of is filing through the little glitter hearts because then you'll have ugly silver edges and whatnot showing and it just won't look nice. So if you're working with acrylic, obviously you're going to use that to encapsulate this stuff. It would have gone much faster and easier to do it that way, but this is the way I do it because I'm not working with acrylic anymore. Now, if I were doing this on my own nails, which I might be next month, um, I would use my polygel to encapsulate the stuff on there in place of acrylic. But I didn't want to bulk these guys up a lot on the press-ons, so that's partly why I do it this way. You end up with the same result. So, tomato, tomato, whichever's easier for you. Boy, I hope you guys don't hear that. My stomach is growling like crazy. I don't know why. I don't even feel that hungry. And once I get enough of these things on here, we will go put those in and have them cure. And then we'll start the encapsulation process with them. That one had 2 stacked together. I tried to go a little heavier with them in here this time as opposed to when I just did the red ones 2 sets ago. I didn't put that many in there. I wanted these to be a bit fuller. What you could do if you wanted that kind of stacked depth look when you're looking into these, you could do the mylar, get those on, cure them, put a layer of either base or top over it, then put your hearts on, and then do the rest of it. That way you'll have a little bit of a separation between the mylar and the hearts, and it'll look like it has more depth. I'm not doing it that way because A, I'm lazy, and B, I just didn't feel like it. When I'm done playing around with these hearts on here that we're going to cure this, we should be about there coming up here quick. Nope, we got another one. Couple more going on. I don't like it when you get two or three stacked on top of each other and you pick them up and put them on there and you don't realize they're stacked together until they start looking weird on the nail. All right, I believe we're ready to cure. Woohoo! All right, now that's cured. One in. We're going to go over them with a hefty layer of base coat. See that one? You could see on that one there's a big chunk of mylar sticking up, which I don't care about because it can get filed off, as I said, and it will be no big deal. Sorry, I'm out of shot again, guys. I'm really trying to get this nailed down. Okay, I'm going to hold that upside down for a little bit, then we're going to cure it. Okay, it's back out. Now I'm going in with a very hefty layer of my tempered top coat. And I'm going to hold that upside down for a bit, and then we'll cure that. And it's back out. Now we're going in with a second hefty layer of the top coat. And again, same thing. Now we're going to do the old file and buff routine. Firstly, I start with the side edges, try to get those back in shape in case I've bulked them up a lot. And then I will go for, see that chunk sticking up right there? That's the next thing. I'm going to use my hard file and it's 100 and 180 grit. Usually I use the 180 side for the most part, unless I've really got some heavy duty stuff sticking up. And once I get that like leveled off, I will switch to my buffer file. It's also 100, 180 grit. And since these were fairly smooth, except for that one piece that was sticking up, I'm going to just use the 180 side. And we're just going to give them the old bufferoo until we get them all smoothed off and even. I'm just going to show you this one. I'm sure you guys know how to do this already, but as I've said in the past, I like to be thorough and show the whole process. All right, there we are now. Pretty good. Just a little bit of something on the side edge. Right. We're done. It's going to be smooth as butter. Smoothed off and ready to go back on the stand. I will do the other two off camera. And then we're going to have a wipe with some alcohol where we're going to wipe them down and get the dust off from the filing. Okay, moving on to the next part. Now, this is the matte top coat that everybody's gone crazy for. So I had to get some and test it for myself. Okay, this is after the pivot now. So this is where I've moved on to what I had to switch up my plan. Okay, so we're going to top coat these other two nails. We did not encapsulate. And now we've got painting gel, and I'm going to just paint my design on with this. And then we're going to do isolated chrome. Now, that top coat I got from Amazon, and it came in a 2-pack. It's a full-size 16 ml bottle, so you get two of those, and it was very reasonably priced. So everybody's going crazy for this stuff, so I decided I needed to check it out myself. So I'm testing it out here on these. and I'm happy to report it lives up to the hype. It worked beautifully. So I would highly recommend it if you don't have it already. I did not have to, once I put the top coat on there, I did not have to wipe the nail down with acetone or alcohol or anything. But it just worked beautifully with just that matte top. Now I have matte top, a couple of different ones, and though the ones I have, it will not work like this with. It will still stick on there unless you really clean it good with acetone. Usually acetone works the best for that. But I don't know what it is with this one. Now Votino makes a matte top. He called it a Teflon top coat, and that's for isolated chrome. It works basically the same as this, but I guarantee you it's going to cost an arm and a leg because his stuff is very expensive. I looked into it at one point and I'm like, nope, that's way out of my budget. Okay, that's all we're putting on that one. I'm going to set that one aside for a minute and do the other one. Now, my original plan for these, if you guys remember, if you were with me at the Christmas nails, and I had that green thread stuff that has like a sparkly kind of glint to it that I did on some green Christmas nails. Well, I have some bright pink of that, and that's what I was going to use where I'm putting these, where I'm painting these lines on. I wanted to put that on and use that as the lines, but I could not, for the life of me, get it to stick down in a pattern like I wanted it to go. I tried using foil glue, figuring, okay, that stuff's really sticky. If I lay it on there, it should stick to that, and then I can go on to the next part. But nope, it did not want to stick very well. I could get it to stick briefly, but then as soon as I tried to curve it around and the whole thing would pop off, and I just could not get it to work. Which is a shame because I have two packs of that pink too, because I thought I was getting purple the second time and it was also pink. So anyway, I've got loads of it. I'm just gonna figure out what to do with it now. I might try something again with the green one when we get to St. Patrick's Day stuff. I don't know. Gotta come up with a better plan. Hey, this one I got a little bit crazy with that one line. There was a little bit sticking out that needs to go. So I gotta clean that up. And back to paint the lines on there. Now, obviously, you saw this is painting gel. No, I'm not mixing it with top coat and all this crazy stuff I've been seeing people do. Yeah, I think it's unnecessary, frankly. I've not ever had problem with the chrome not sticking to the gel paint. So, and considering this gel paint, you don't have to top coat it if you don't want to when you're done. Once it's on there, it's there, and that's it. It's paint. It's not like the polish, so you don't have to top coat it. Um, I usually do anyway, just because I like everything covered over, but it's not necessary. So, as I said, I have not had any issues with my chrome not sticking to it. So I shall just continue on the way I've been going. Okay, once that one's good, we're going to cure both of those. And then we're going to do the chroming. I'm using this bright pink chrome, the same one I just used on my own nails last time. And we're just going to rub it on where we just painted that stuff. You don't even have to be careful and delicately put it on. You can rub it on pretty well. It's not going to stick to that background at all. I don't know what it is with this mat, but it works so nice. It's going to make my life so much easier. Okay, and there we have it. And then the other one, easy peasy. I was trying to give it a little extra rubbing to see if I could get it to be a bit shinier than what it was, but it will not be mirror shine because it's not going over a no wipe top coat. If you want that mirror shine look, you gotta use the top coat under here. But okay, there we are so far. Now we're moving on to the next step, which is carving gel. Okay, I'm gonna make two hearts, one on each of those ones with the chrome lines we just did. Now, originally I was going to have these be as they are, this color, but as I was looking at them, I wasn't totally liking how this looked with the rest of those pinks. So I decided I decided to chrome these hearts too, which is not going to happen until after they're on there. Okay, I'm putting a little bit of alcohol on there so it will stick to the nail better. Being careful not to get alcohol over the chrome that I just put on because it's not top coated, so it's not protected. If you get alcohol on there, you're going to wipe it right off, so be careful. Now you could have put it, if you wanted to, you could always top coat it right now, right then before I get to this step, so it's safe. I didn't do that, which actually worked out for the best because once I decided to chrome these hearts, I already had the matte background on there, so I could go ahead and do that without worrying about chrome powder sticking to the back now. Okay, once we get that on there and it's going to stay, we're just going to shape it into a heart shape with the silicone tool. Now you could do this, I could have done this on my mat. I'm putting a little more alcohol under there because it wasn't sticking very good. You could do this, make the heart and shape it all on the mat and then stick it on. That might have been an easier way to go considering I was trying to avoid getting anything on that chrome. But you guys know me, I like to do things the hard way, apparently. Now that I've got it on there, it's not where I want it. I got one side fat and one side skinny now, so now it looks kind of odd. Let's see if we can adjust. Okay, once I get this on here and I get the other one on, then we will cure those. This carving gel I cure for 2 minutes. Okay, and I will brush the top of the heart down with some alcohol to clean off any dust or anything that has gotten on there, any kind of crud. It will also smooth out fingerprints or whatever else you might have done with it. Okay, and this will be the other one. This would have gone much easier too if I did not have gloves on. Such a pain in the neck to try to work with these gloves. I hate them. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on here. I think I sped this one up since it's the same as the other one. Yeah, I'm going to flatten it out some. And then I will get the heart shape going. If you're working with this kind of stuff and it starts to get stick to the silicone tool, just put some alcohol on the silicone bit there, and that will keep that from happening. But once again, I need to be careful I don't get any of it on the chrome because it will take it off. Until you protect that chrome with the top coat, it's vulnerable to getting wiped off. It'll get scratched. Um, just any number of things can happen with it. And I've probably had all of them happen to mine over the time here I've been using Chrome. Once we're happy with the shape of this, and I will smooth the top of this off with alcohol like I did on the other one, they will go into cure for 2 minutes. And I just was not feeling that color of pink with the chrome already. If I hadn't used that chrome, if I would have kept the pink stringy stuff, it would have looked okay. Okay, now we're gonna make some bows. Here's the bow mold. You can get these molds on Ali and Amazon, probably Temu. I'm assuming I don't shop on Temu, so they pretty much on the brief time I looked in there, they pretty much have all the same stuff I can get on Ali. So anyway, there's my tester one I did up there in the top corner. You can see it. I was just originally going to use this bright pink hollow glitter for my bows, but once I decided to chrome the hearts, I thought I need to have some chrome on those encapsulated nails somewhere to tie in with the other ones. Otherwise, it's going to look weird. So that's when I decided to chrome the bows as well. And I did that tester one before I started, just in case it didn't work or it was going to be some royal pain in the butt. But frankly, it was pretty easy. Okay, once we get enough of the polish into the mold, I don't know where I've gone here. We're going to clean these up by taking a brush with a little alcohol on it and um, kind of pushing the polish back towards the center of the mold so it's getting pushed back into there. You'll see here as we go. Also, what's important is to get either a skinny brush or a toothpick or something thin like that, spotting tool, and poke it down inside of the deepest parts of the mold just to make sure there's no bubbles clinging to the bottom. I did end up with a bubble on one of mine because I forgot to do that step. But do take the time to do this cleanup right through before you cure them. Because as I said the last time we did this, if you don't, all that sloppage that's over pour like will you'll have to cut it off, clip it off, cut it off, however. And it's a royal pain to do that, especially on teeny tiny little bits of stuff. So if you just clean them up before you cure them, then you don't have that issue. Okay, now I will cure this. I will put it in there to cure for 90 seconds, and then I will flip it over upside down and cure the other side for 90 seconds. You got it. That's important to do both sides. That way you make sure it's getting cured all the way. Otherwise, especially with these kind of darker colors, with your blacks, your red, even white, it may not penetrate through far enough. So that's why you got to do both sides. Also important to use a clear mold. Using molds that are colored, um, it's not going to go through and you're not going to get cured underneath. Okay, anyway, now I'm using the no wipe top coat and I'm top coating just the top of these hearts and a teeny tiny bit along the edge. I'm trying really hard not to get any on the base color where the mat is because we don't want it to get on that base because otherwise then our chrome's going to stick down there. So wherever this top coat goes and the chrome goes on there, it's going to be. Now this one will be a little bit more mirror look because I'm using the top coat. Unfortunately, my hearts are not perfectly smooth, so you're going to see imperfections in them after the chrome goes on. Chrome is notorious for pointing out every little flaw that you didn't see when you were making them, as I found out last time. Well, I mean, I knew that, but I had that situation with my current set I'm wearing, which is why, as you guys know, there's so many embellishments on there that I was not planning on having on there. Anyway, we're just going to rub the chrome on. Now you can rub it along the sides of the hearts. If it gets on the base, it's not a big deal. It's gonna brush right off, just like before, like so. And there we go, one chrome heart. I think I know why I'm having so many issues staying in shot, because where the camera is exactly on my new phone is not where it was on my old phone. So where my stand that I put it on to film is, it's like over too far now. I got to move the whole shebang over. I think a little bit farther that way I should be able to stay. See, that one's kind of not as nicely smooth. Okay, these are cured up on both sides now. We're gonna pop them right out. You can't even tell that that's a glitter, but that's a hollow glitter, which, like I said, I was gonna use those as they are, but then I decided to chrome them. So we're not top coating any of these. We're just gonna chrome right over this. It will go on, it will stick, it will look chromy. It's just not gonna have a mirror shine to it. See there? Easy peasy. Of course, that one had to stick to a finger. Trying to work with these little things after you've done them is such a pain. That's why I say try to get off anything that needs trimmed off before you cure it. Because trying to get a hold of these and then while you're trimming or doing like even this part, it doesn't always go so smoothly. Of course, the one that I did as a tester is the one that came out the best, so we'll be using that one and these other two. The worst part of this whole set for me was getting these bows on here properly, because, of course, I had to do it the hard way. For some reason, I guess I must be a glutton for punishment. Okay, we've got those now. Are done. They're ready to go. We're going to get out our trusty gem glue, slather up the top of this, and we'll be putting a bow on each one of these encapsulated nails at the top by the cuticle edge. I really try to keep my embellishments away from the bottom, from the free edge down there. Okay, I need more glue. This is going to get kind of choppy because I was having issues and a lot of stuff might have been out of shot, so I was editing. Okay, I had to hold that down with the tweezer and get my flashlight out, my LED flashlight, to try and cure this. Now I'm curing it from the side and from underneath because the base color of these encapsulated nails is sheer, so I figured I'd get the glue from underneath the cure. I wanted the bows to be flush against the nail. I didn't want any parts sticking up, which is why I went through all this extra stuff. Once I get those to stay down, I will put it in the lamp and give it its full cure. Um, I think it would have been much easier to do this if I had used the old Saran wrap method to press that all down flat and hold it while I cured it, instead of trying to do this with the tweezers and the flashlight. Because I think it's this one was when I was pressing this down to try to hold it while I cured it, the whole thing just pressed right down and came off the nail stand, like the whole nail like flipped up because I was pressing too hard. Okay, No, you don't have to make your own bows. You can get pre-made bows. They're already done. Most of the time those are going to be made out of resin and they're going to be stiff. Even if you do it with acrylic, they're going to be stiff when they're cured. You're not going to be able to get them to lay totally flush against the nail. That's why I like to make the stuff out of gel polish because not only can I match the color to whatever polish I'm already using, and they'll be matched perfectly, but they're flexible so I can get the stuff to bend and lay flush on the nail. Now there takes a little finagling, as you see, to get it to do what I need it to, but eventually I get there. See that one just did not want to cooperate. Now we need more glue again under there. Okay, now I've just taken it off the stand and we're just going with it on my mat where I can press harder on it. And I'm just gonna cure these enough so they stay down like they're supposed to. Then, like I said, I will put them in the lamp, the big lamp, and cure them for their full 90 seconds. Hmm. This gem glue cures for 90 seconds, so I've just been assuming they all do. And usually that's what I cure my gem glue with, 90 seconds. All right. And I didn't show you the last one. The same thing. Okay, now we're going in with the final top coat. And I've switched over to tempered top coat for this. I am going to top the entire thing over because you got to protect this chrome now. So I do the base part first, then I try to wipe off as much top coat from my brush into the bottle as I can. So when I do the bows, or in this case the heart, I don't end up with a huge puddle of top coat pooling up on there and around there. I will go in, wipe my brush like I just did there, and then I will go back and take off as much of right around that stuff as possible so I don't end up with a big lake of it. And we'll do that on all of them. And we in the home stretch now, guys. Not sure what I'm going to do for the next set coming up next week. So we'll see. We'll both be surprised because I have no clue either. It's probably going to be something springy and flowery, I'm guessing, but maybe not. I don't know. And the pinky nail. And they will go in for their normal minute of curing after this. And we'll be done. And there they are, going into cure after we hold them upside down for a bit. I do hold them upside down for longer than what you guys usually see me doing it. I usually just edit part of that out. Anyway, here they are all finished, all shined up, and looking okay. Not what I really wanted, but it looks all right. I can live with it. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, guys. I hope you like them. If you do, please give me a like. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I upload a new tutorial every Saturday. And that's all I got for you this week. Like I said, we'll be surprised with whatever is going to happen next week. I don't know yet. So we'll see. Have a good Valentine's Day. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.